Let's talk ethical, okay? I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate and a lot of bashing for voicing this opinion here. So, ethics when it comes to hunting and fishing, outdoors, things like that. I'm sure everybody's heard before, mainly talking, archery, but this can go to rifle as well, about ethical shots, right? And people say, that shot's not ethical. We want a clean, fast kill. Want the animal to expire as quick as possible. Things of that nature, right? That people talk about when it comes to ethics and taking animals and everything like that. So there's a couple of things. This is just my opinion. This is just conversation. I want comments. I want people to interact with me. I want perspectives, different views, things like that. So this is my view and kind of where I come from on it. When it comes to, people like say, well, don't say kill an animal, say harvest an animal, things like that. Right? We're killing animals, right? We're killing them, plain and simple. We're killing things here, okay? Death isn't pretty. It's part of the process. It's not pretty. So when it comes to the ethic conversation, I don't know if it's a justification on why hunters like to talk the ethical game and this and that. But in my opinion, you cannot convince me that killing an animal in any way is ethical. And the reason I say that is because death isn't pretty. Death is death, okay? And in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you shoot an animal and that thing dies in 10 seconds or it takes it a couple of hours. Oh, well, it suffered this and that. It's suffering regardless. It suffered for 10 seconds or it suffered for 10 hours until it died, right? To try to justify it, to me, is just, I call things for what they are. Now, don't get me wrong, I I love hunting. It's a passion. There's so much to hunting for me. It's not about the killing, right? Honestly, like it's tough. I'm overwhelmed with emotion whenever I take an animal. Um, it should be that way. You should feel some type of way with it. Now, I'm not saying that you torture an animal purposely. That's a little bit different. Um, just being mean and ruthless and heartless, like in the sense of like just like kind of psychotic, that's a different thing. But when you're taking an animal's life, um, you know, it is one to consume the animal. Hopefully, you're eating the animal. I mean, there is some instances like coyotes and things like that. They get killed and they're not getting consumed and everything like that. Um, but it's to kill the animal, to consume it, and to feel the success of the challenge of the hunt. And I think that's why a lot of people bow hunt and things like that, because it is that challenge, and it's okay to feel good of your achievement. It's a very hard task to achieve some of these hunts, right? It's a lot of hard work, and people want to display that. That's why we take pictures. We have trophy rooms, things like that. We're displaying it not to show the death side of it so much, but to show the accomplishment of this hard task that was done. And this just gives us a way to show that, pictures and taxidermy and things like that, to illustrate the success of that. And then obviously consuming the meat as well. It's pretty pure, compared to factory farming and things like that. So that's where I side with it, right? I want to eat the animal. And yes, I want to take a picture and show the accomplishment because of the challenge and show that off, basically. We are doing that, I mean, just call it for what it is. But to say, the whole ethical thing, if you hunt long enough, and especially bow hunting, It doesn't matter. 20 yards, you could have a deer perfectly broadside at 20 yards. Your intention is to make the best shot possible to recover the animal. You want the animal. You don't want to make a bad shot and not be able to retrieve the animal, because then you don't get the meat and you haven't accomplished what you're trying to do. Okay? So yes, you want to make a good shot to achieve the task at hand. Okay? But even at 20 yards, things happen. You're anticipating it to drop and duck, right? So you're aiming a little lower. The animal doesn't react. You hit them low in the brisket. Okay? Is that unethical? You're trying to make the best decision possible, right? But it can happen. And then, like, yeah, if you're shooting 100 yards, I mean, there's not ethics involved. It's just like your odds just go way down. You can argue both sides. Are they going to be able to hear the bow go off by the time the arrow gets there? I think the sound's going to be different. Versus 20 yards, they're going to react very quickly. Versus 100 yards, they might, but they're still going to walk, move. There's no guarantee they're going to stay there. I mean, that is what bow hunting is. We're shooting where the animal is going to be, not where they're at. There's so many different variations. They duck, they roll when they duck, they roll out, they roll into it. They don't move at all. There's so many different variations. So it's hard to argue that a 20-yard broadside shot is more ethical than an 80-yard broadside shot. I don't think anybody's intention is, I'm going to shoot at this animal and wound it and it's going to run off and I'm going to enjoy that. Like, I don't really think most hunters, that's not their objective. The objective is to harvest and kill the animal. So people feel like maybe at 80 yards, like, hey, I think I can send an arrow. I think I got a good chance of getting this animal. You're always taking a risk every time you shoot an animal. It doesn't matter the distance and the range. At the end of the day, you're still taking its life. So to try to justify it with a level of ethics, death is death. Oh, they suffer. They're suffering regardless. Regardless, it's part of it. Unfortunately, it is just part of it. If you feel that strongly and you want to be truly ethical to the animal, don't hunt. Like that's all I got to say. Don't take it. Get a camera, go out, get it within close range of it, take pictures of it, admire it. That's going to be the most ethical if you want to have ethics involved in it. You know, it's call it for what it is. I know we like to protect it in this, especially against the antides and all that stuff. I don't justify it to nobody. My way of life, I believe God has put us here and where we're at in the food chain and everything. If the roles were reversed and an animal had to eat me, then it absolutely would. It wouldn't think twice about my feelings or anything about it, right? It just wouldn't. You know, I know the arguments. You can go to the grocery store. We don't need to hunt, all that. That's not, yes, we've made things convenient, but if all that goes away, if something were to happen and the grocery stores were to go away and something bad were to really happen, we would have to revert back to our roots and nature. And that's what it is. You know, and I guarantee all the antides and all the people that yell from the rooftops about don't hunt, don't harm animals and all this, they would not sit there and starve to death. They would do whatever necessary to feed them and their family. Guaranteed. Not even an argument. It's a tradition. It's where we come from. It's who we are. It's where we're at in the food chain. I don't apologize for anything. Yes, I kill. Yes, I inflict pain. Yes, I do. I do. So it is what it is. But, you know, I don't have to justify that to anybody. You know, what I'm doing. I will face my maker one day and he can judge me and he can let me know if I was right or wrong. And I will take whatever punishment lies ahead for me for being a hunter and a sportsman. Okay. That's just how I feel about it. There's a lot of justification that I see in the hunting industry. You know, people shoot a buck. Oh, well, it's not the biggest, and it's like, what are you doing? You don't have to explain yourself to anybody for any reason, right? Everybody has the right to live, hunt, not hunt, be vegan, not be. It doesn't matter. That's your right. Do your thing, man. But don't think that you have to justify what you're doing, because then that shows me like you've got something internal going on. If you feel like you've got to justify killing animals, or it wasn't the largest animal, or whatever it is, I don't ever apologize for any animals or make any justification for the size of or anything like that. It's nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. Do what you do, hunt. You don't owe anybody an answer. Whatever you like, however you like living your life, live that life that way. And people should, just let people do their thing. It is what it is, because we can debate back and forth all day long. Everybody on this earth, if you live on this earth, you have blood on your hands. Just by merely being here, it's cause and effect. We have an effect on the earth. We do. You're killing, stuff, whether it's when you're driving in your car, walking on a sidewalk, whatever it is, you're taking lives. And you can't start saying, well, that's different. No, it's not. A life is a life. I don't care if it's an ant or a moose. Life is a life, right? You don't get to pick and choose. So just merely living on this earth, you're causing death. That's okay. It's part of it. It's part of it. That just comes with living life, So anyways, I hope you guys don't beat me up too bad in the comments on this. This is just kind of where I come from on it. I try to be a straight shooter in life and call things as I see them. And harvesting, yeah, if you want to call it that, I mean, I'm killing animals at the end of the day. I'm consuming the animals. I appreciate the animals. I value the animals. I really, really do. I support if they say, hey, deer numbers are low, no deer hunting for 5 years. Hey, if that's what the science says, that we need to not hunt, let them repopulate or whatever it be with any species, that I support that. I do not want them off the landscape. They're a resource. I think they're a great, valuable resource. They're a beautiful resource. I love nature. I love animals. They're so beautiful and majestic and great. I like the challenge of man versus beast. I like to consume their flesh and eat them. If I'm going to hell for that, like I said, I'll face my maker and he'll let me know. But I don't need another human being telling me the way that I'm living my life is wrong and they're superior to me because they don't hunt. It's comical to me that people want to think that there's something, that they're better than other people because they do things a certain way or whatever. I'm just another person out here. I'm just living my life, doing what I do. You might agree with it. You might not. I really don't care at the end of the day. I don't care, So I don't answer to humans. I answer to my God, and that's it. So anyways, really I would like, some discussion, some feedback, what you guys think, where, your points of views. I'm just trying to talk to maybe help people see things from different perspectives, other people's points of views, give it a little bit of thought, think about it logically, not emotionally. And that's what healthy debate and conversation is about, is talking about these things, putting them out there. And I'm all ears. I'm willing to listen to other people and where they're coming from. And hey, I support that. Actually, if you don't take certain shots because of your, ethics of how you feel about it, hey, I support that. I applaud you. But don't bash the other guy that's taking shots that you wouldn't take. Let him do his thing. We've all wounded animals. I really don't think anybody's intent was to say, I just want to go out here and hurt them and I don't really care if I retrieve them or not. I don't believe that. I think people, they want to be successful. They want to get the animal. So everybody just goes about hunting. It's kind of, I always say religion and hunting are, everybody does it a little bit different, you know. So we're nobody to judge other people on what they do. If you don't feel comfortable, if you only take 20-yard shots on deer, hey, I applaud you. That's awesome. If you set those limitations, hey, that's great, you know, but you shouldn't set those limitations on other people. Let them do them. You do what you feel is right for you to do. And that's it. So appreciate you guys watching Social Distancing Outdoors. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. This is something that I can express my opinions, where I've come from, what hunting means to me. I'm wanting to make some more little hunting videos and just different little videos just to share a different perspective. Basically, there's no right way that I'm doing it. I'll never tell anybody like this is the way, you know, that you got to do things. I'm just showing you, hey, this is my journey. It's what I'm doing. I love connecting with people that have passion for the outdoors and hunting, and building friendships and things like that. So that's what I'm doing this for. And hope everybody has a great day, man. Y'all, thank you guys for watching. Take care.